Nick Gallo, OKCThunder.com. Mark, 14 ties, 10 lead changes. Just your thoughts on another battle, another tight game for y'all.
Yeah, I mean, these are obviously tough experiences, but they're good experiences. It's much better than not getting the game situations we got tonight. We put ourselves in a position, obviously, to win the game like we did the other night. Came up short, but it's much better than the alternative. Not the alternative of winning, but the alternative of not being in the situation. So, when you lose, it sucks, and the emotion of it can get to you, but you're never as far away as you think you are when you lose. You never are as good as you think you are when you win by 2. And so we just got to stay head down, improving, and building the right habits and moving forward here.
You all gave yourselves a chance with that great push in the third quarter. Tell me about the feeling on the floor there at the end of the quarter, the big sequence, the 5-0 burst capped by the Wiggins 3.
Yeah, those guys did a great job. I thought really ready to play. Those guys went in there, scrambled, got us back in the game. We made a lot of noise early. They extended the lead to 14 again. And then we closed it really well with that group. Got shooting around Shai, moved the ball. Those guys delivered, and they delivered defensively too. I thought they did a really good job on that end.
22 turnovers tonight. Was that more of you guys being a little careless, or was it the Wolves doing something special?
Well, they're a high turnover defense because they really hawk the ball. And I thought we kind of played into their hands a little bit, especially in the first half, second quarter specifically. I thought we put ourselves in compromising situations against an aggressive defense. And so, that's the lesson you got to learn. I think we've attacked aggressive defenses well before. We just didn't do a great job of it in that quarter, and it snowballed a little bit. But I thought we course-corrected it the second half.
Did you get an explanation on the foul that was called a foul by one of the refs where Eugene got hit in the face and they gave him a timeout?
Yeah, so they told me that the foul was clearly after the timeout. And they told me it wasn't a replay trigger. It's something that they couldn't look at. I'm not really sure on that rule, to be honest with you. I'm taking their word for it there. To be honest with you, I thought the fact that they got together and conferenced and discussed it was good, because I thought, like last game, one guy at the end of the game had an out of bounds. The other guy said the game was over. They didn't talk to each other to discuss it. We're in New Orleans. One guy's got a block, one guy's got a charge. They didn't get together to discuss it. Tonight, at least they got together, did the best they could as a team to get the call. I'm not sure what was right. I got to look at it.
And Shai started the fourth, and when he normally starts the fourth on the bench, was that more him wanting to stay warm, wanting to stay hot, or was that you wanting to keep him in the game because he was hot?
Well, he always wants to stay. I mean, that's never off. No, that group was just so potent at that time that I just thought their second unit was going to be back out there and just try to keep it rolling I just told them I need 2 more minutes here, hit the whole group, and then I was going to get into the subbing. But I just thought, they were in such a rhythm, offensively and defensively. I was just going to try to extend it and roll with it a little bit.
Any common thread the first half? Last couple of games we talked about the 3-point shooting, the opposition. I think tonight they're missing 3 starters, and they had 63 points the first half, and I'm thinking like 8 or 9 threes. Any common thread, even though you do better in the third quarter? It seems like the first half, the defense is kind of lacking.
Yeah, I mean, it's been second quarters specifically, these last couple games. It's hard. There's a lot of games, and you get into these. It can be a little bit of like chasing your shadow a little bit. If you overreact to these things, we just try to evaluate it possession by possession. I think a general theme, though, is we've got to compete, for 48. That just has to be who we are. And we left a little bit to be desired competitively, and we have to play together for 48. And we left a little bit to be desired. And I just thought, to Daniel's point, there was a little bit of over-penetration there, not trusting the early ones. And the good news is these are a lesson for us if we listen to them. And so we got to look at it and self-evaluate and be honest with ourselves, because obviously those have been costly stretches for us because we're playing pretty good games otherwise.
Do you have any sort of gauge on how the team as a whole takes these losses, whether it's pretty hard or in stride?
more hard than in stride, and it should be, like a lot goes into the game. Games are emotional things, and it should hurt if you lose, and it should feel great if you win. And I think allowing yourself to feel those emotions after a game is a good thing, because you pour so much into it, and these guys invest so much physical, mental, emotional effort when they're out there. But it's important in an 82-game season to wake up the next day 0-0. And obviously we're on a back-to-back, so tomorrow it's even more critical. But that's the point of taking it in stride. I think when you wake up the next morning, you got to be ready to attack that day and not carry the last success or the last failure forward with you. But, you go, it's a somber locker room when you lose by 2, and it should be. These guys are working really hard, and they're really competing and trying to win.
A lot of it just boils down. People talk about wins and losses, but last year you guys had a lot of bigger losses. This year it's been a lot more close games. Is it ever hard to talk to those guys and just, I don't know, try to explain that this is progress, even though it's not resulting in the overall win, but they still are getting better and improving?
Yeah, I mean, I think we feel that, and they feel that, and that's certainly something we point out. Because, it's really just trying to make sure that we stay committed to the track we're on. We're on the right track, clearly. And we're better individually and as a team than we were a year ago, and we're better than we were at the beginning of the season. And at the end of the day, it's the NBA. It's really hard. You got to be able to take your punches. It's not like you just go out there and throw haymakers, and it's every team. And I personally think that these punches, with a group of guys that handle them with resilience and that keep coming, make you stronger. And hopefully that's the case for us, but we have to make that happen too. We can't just sit around and wait for that to happen.
Late game situations where you have the option to make the free throw or intentionally miss, is that something you're deciding, or are you giving someone like Shai the discretion to make that decision? And then are there analytics you guys have looked into to drive the decisions you make in those situations?
I told him to miss it. It was more based on the fact that we didn't have a timeout. I was short on timeouts tonight. That's usually not the case. I challenged a play in the second quarter. We were at home, so I was charged the first mandatories in the third and fourth. So, we were a little loose there. If we had a timeout, I would have had to make it, because then you could foul and you could advance the ball. I think it's really, really hard, to go full court in that amount of time. Analytics do drive it, maybe not that exact situation, because the sample sizes of those situations are so small, but we're certainly informed by as much information as we can get. But yeah, I told him to do that.
Anyone else? Got last one to Schlecht in the front.
You went with Eugene down the stretch. What did you like from him tonight?
I thought he really competed, and then the switchability. I thought we tried some different things defensively. But I mean, he was pretty locked in competitively, and the switching I thought was bothering them. And then we were able to run another guy at Edwards late that generated a couple turnovers for us. They also got a layup on one. But yeah, it was mainly tactical, to be honest with you. And he had the juice tonight.
And then Baisley was a late scratch. Was it in question before the game whether he'd play or not?
Sick. I mean, it was just one of those things where it popped up. So
okay.
He was sick tonight. So hopefully he's feeling better tomorrow. But he was pretty sick.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
He wasn't feeling great.
Nick Gallo, Bally Sports. Gene, you guys are switching everything late, playing small, trapping. What are those feelings like out there on the floor, just trying to kind of chase the game and make a push at the end?
It feels good. Trying to make them move the ball side to side and get them discombobulated is what our goal in doing that is. And I felt like it was working tonight, so just didn't end the way we wanted to.
A lot of cutting, a lot of backdoor action. I think 29 assists for you all as a team. What were you all able to get to offensively?
Just get to our spots, get to our dunkers, get to the shots we wanted. And just, like you said, we were small, so just being able to move and everyone being able to either dribble, shoot, and pass, which is big for us, so I feel like we did that tonight.
And then just what was your take on the third quarter and the way you all kind of were able to take over the game there?
It's great. We believe in ourselves no matter how many we may be down or how many we may be up. So just coming out there to execute our game style and our gameplay is our biggest thing.
Playing a lot of small ball center, how comfortable are you in those positions, and have you played center a little bit before?
Yeah, I'm comfortable. I did a bit in college when our big man went down, so I'm very comfortable. And I can use my size and then to guard bigger guys, and to make the switch, I can guard smaller guys, which is helps the team and is big for us. So I'm just gonna keep bringing that every day, and whenever they need me to play the 5, I'll take it.
Eugene, a couple plays down the stretch didn't go your guys' way that you were involved in. How hard is it to keep composure during moments like that? Because although it didn't go your way, you guys still had somewhat of a window to keep it open to win it towards the end.
Yeah, although we're a young team, we have a veteran mindset, all of us, and it's not always gonna go our way. We just gotta continue competing, and we can't focus on how the game swings. We just gotta keep pounding away at it.
Nick Gallo, Bally Sports. Shai, 14 ties, 10 lead changes in this one, and then just some crazy sequences down the stretch. What was your take on the fourth quarter?
Yeah, it was a good game. Just think they made more plays down the stretch. Got stuck a couple times, had a couple turnovers. But yeah, I think they earned this one down the stretch.
What was it feeling like out there when the building kind of exploded right there at the end of the third quarter on Wiggins' 3?
Yeah, it felt good. We played really good that quarter. Kind of got back the lead. We were playing good basketball on both ends of the floor.
Who else? Here we go. Myron, and then in the back.
Yeah, last couple games, you guys kind of gotten off to a slow start defensively in the first half. Better in the third quarter, but you've having to kind of catch up. What's the slow starts on defense?
I'm not sure. I don't know the answer to that question. But for sure, whatever it is, we got to fix it. We try to be good all 4 quarters.
Shai, whenever coach tells you to intentionally miss that free throw at the end, is that something that you've worked on before in practice or anything?
Nah, never. Yeah, I never practiced missing a free throw.
Who else? Anyone else? Here we go.
Hi, Shai. I'm Hallie Hart with the Oklahoman. What do you think it is kind of about third quarters with you had that 11-0 run? What do you think it is about third quarters that makes you all really have that momentum, and how do you think you carry that through the rest of the game?
I think we're good at making adjustments at halftime. A couple locations it's been like we're down going into half, and we know that if we don't get off to a good start, it's only going to get uglier. But yeah, we got to try to kind of implement that throughout the other quarters.